Hi everyone, it's Eve Angeline here at etrailer, and today we are looking at the Kuat NV 2.0 base version here on our 2020 Cadillac XT4. So the Kuat NV is your heavy-duty premium bike rack, which you would get for if you have really nice bikes you want to protect, if you have heavy electric bikes that need a little extra weight capacity, or if you just have a strange framed bike like a step-through bike, women's bike, children's bike, and you don't want to get a frame adapter bar. So let's take a look at first how it works here on our Cadillac XT4. This bike rack tilts away, and to do so you pull on this lever and then you just drop this down to a tilt just like that. And you'll want to tilt it away if you want to access your hatch. So as you can see here on our car, there's plenty of room between our pedals and our door, as well as between our handlebars, allowing us to get into our trunk, maybe grab our waters, grab our helmets, grab our bags, without having to take our bikes off. That way you don't have to take the extra time. You can just grab what you need and you can get back onto the road and then back onto the trails. So let's take a look at the way our bike is mounted right now. We have a women's bike right here. So as you can see, this frame makes it kind of hard for if you have a traditional hook that comes down. I would have to get a frame adapter bar. But here, I don't have to worry about that because this has a front wheel clamp. I really like that front wheel mount. If I had a carbon fiber frame, I wouldn't have to worry about accidentally warping or cracking my frame. And with our other style bikes, I don't have to get a frame adapter bar. Plus, it's quick and easy to use. Now, if you want to take your bike off, this is where you start. We have this rear wheel strap, so that goes around your wheel, and when you want to take it off, you press this lever to release that strap, and then you pull up on that strap, and then try to leave it to the side. That way it's not tangled up in your spokes. Then you come up over here to the front. Make sure to hold on to your bike as you do so, because once you release that front wheel mount, it could tilt back. So hold on to your bike, press this button, lift this up, push that out. And from here, if you have an electric bike, I do recommend getting the access ramp in order to just ramp it down the bike rack. Or you could just lift it up a little bit, and then you are ready to go on a bike ride. Now I'll just put this bike over here to the side. That way we get to take a closer look here at our tray as well as at our straps. So we have this rear tray, and this means we can move this back and forth if we need better fits between both of our bikes. We have this large long wheel strap that goes around the wheel, and that ratchets down to secure it. Now if you have two fat tire bikes, you will need to pick up a separate fat tire adapter kit, but otherwise this can fit a maximum tire width of 3 inches for one bike and 5 inches for the other bike. Each tray has an integrated cable lock that goes around your bike and secures it, so one on each side. Then coming over here to the front, we have this front wheel cradle, so whether you have, it has grooves for your different tire widths, so whether you have a thinner road bike tire or a fatter fat bike tire, you can use this with that. You also have this front wheel hook. So I talked about why I like that front wheel hook design, and you can see how you have a slight texture on the inside to hold onto your front wheel as this ratchets down to secure. So let's fold this down so it's nice and neat. Another tip for you is please put away your straps when you don't have your bike on. That way they're not flopping around as you drive around, and helps them stay strong for a longer time. Okay, now when we have this bike on our vehicle, there is going to be some length added to the back of it. So we're going to take some measurements just to see exactly how much. Measuring from our rear bumper to the end of our bike rack, it sits at 30 inches of length added. So whenever you back your car into your garage or you try to park into a tight spot, please don't forget that you have bikes as well as a bike rack behind your vehicle. You already have a slightly larger vehicle compared to your teeny tiny sedans or your compact SUVs, so it's going to be something you're going to have to think about with your garage space. Let's also take a look at ground clearance. Measuring underneath our tray to the ground, it sits at 25 3/4 inches of ground clearance. Now underneath the shank to the ground, it sits at 15 1/2 inches of ground clearance. this is actually really good. Compared to other cars, you have a decent amount of ground clearance on your XT4, but whenever you go up steep inclines like driveways or hills, you might still want to think about that ground clearance. Now with this having a weight capacity of 60 pounds per bike, I do again recommend maybe picking up the access ramp, especially because you can get your heavy electric bikes up there, so it'd be nice to do it easily. Now, if you do not want to take your bikes out just yet, but you also want to keep your bike rack on, what you can do is put this into the portable position. To do so, you pull this lever right there, and then you lift that bike rack up against your vehicle. So we'll take some measurements again. Measuring from our bumper right there to the end of the trays, it sits at 8 inches away. Now it does sit out a little bit further right where that shank is, so that's about 13¼ inches of length added to the back of our vehicle. Now let's take a look at the closest point. So we're gonna have a clearance of about 2¾ inches. That's going to be from our bumper to our bike rack. Notice that with it folded up like this, we have our rear window completely open, as our taillights, they're completely visible. Our backup camera sits right over here above our bike rack, but we do have our license plate slightly covered right over there. Now let's talk about how this fits into our hitch. So this has a 2-inch solid shank, and I use it with the etrailer hitch adapter because it is kind of a heavier bike rack, so we want to make sure that we don't have to be looking back and forth to make sure our hitch pin is lined up. We just pop it in and it's aligned. Now this uses a hitch pin and a lock. That lock is key to the cable lock on our trays, and it's a tool-free install. So all you need to do is pop it into your hitch, tighten it down with this knob right over here, and you can see as I shake our bike rack, that fit is secure. We do take out that rattle and that sway, making for a smoother ride for your bikes overall. So my final thoughts about the Kuat NV is it's definitely a premium bike rack. You do get that weight capacity, you do get those integrated locks, you get that nice tilt-away feature for when you want to open your hatch. If you have bikes that you want to take care of, you want to protect, but you also want transported safely from one place to another, when you get into your car, you might want this behind it. So that was a look at the Kuat NV 2.0 base version here on our 2020 Cadillac XT4.